certified obstetrician gynecologist, and I'm the owner of Desert Star Family Planning in Phoenix, Arizona. I am also the founder and CEO of Health Justice MD, a consulting company that helps organizations go through a paradigm shift in how we talk about bodily autonomy, abortion, and gender. And so today, I want to talk about why reproductive justice is important. Um, this is a framework that's going to help us work through this harmful rhetoric underlying the U.S. Supreme Court's June 2022 decision in the Dobbs versus Jackson Women Health Organization that overturned Roe v. Wade and plunged our country into chaos. So let's break down this Supreme Court decision a little bit as it relates to what I want to discuss today. The opinion in Dobbs v. Jackson Women's Health gives us some clues as to who matters and who doesn't when we talk about mothers and families. In his majority opinion, Alito argues that modern developments, quote unquote, make past burdens of motherhood obsolete. These developments include attitudes about pregnancy of unmarried women that have, quote unquote, changed drastically, and the existence of state laws that ban discrimination on the basis of pregnancy, and the fact that the costs of medical care associated with pregnancy are, quote unquote, covered by insurance or government assistance. He also brings up safe haven laws that allow babies to be dropped off for adoption with little reason to fear, according to him, and federally mandated family leave policies that protect jobs. In Alito's imagined world, mothers are respected by society, have secure jobs, adequate health insurance, and government mandated time off to raise children and take care of their families. And oh, yes, this is unstated but clear that these are white cisgender female mothers and families that adhere to heteronormative patriarchal standards. So let's break this down a little bit here. I'm adapting a quote from Loretta Ross, who says, "The ability of any person with a uterus to determine their own reproductive destiny is directly linked to the conditions in their community. And these conditions are not just a matter of individual choice and access. For example, a person cannot make an individual decision about their body if they are part of a community whose human rights as a group are violated, such as through environmental dangers or insufficient health care." And so breaking down these comments that were made in Alito's written opinion that overturned Roe v. Wade, do we provide the conditions for people to parent with dignity? Let's talk about the single mothers that Alito referred to in his decision. 1 in 3 children in America grow up in single parent households. And so what has been very elusive to parents is affordable childcare. The 2022 Republican candidate for Ohio Senate, J.D. Vance, who ultimately went on to win his election, tweeted this in April 2021. "Universal daycare is class war against normal people." A few months later, again, this person wins an election. Who are these normal people? Who is being excluded in Senator-elect Vance's statement? A patriarchal society steeped in white supremacist values has an interest in upholding a vision of society in which the people who have been pushed to the margins rightly suffer in poverty, and people are denied autonomy over their lives. And people who hold these types of values can and will justify not supporting children after they're born based on prejudice against non-traditional families who they feel deserve their fate for not conforming to the quote unquote norm. So this rhetoric is extremely harmful. When these decisions are being made, when these policies are being created, there is a specific type of family, type of pregnant person in mind. And there are definitely people who are being excluded from these. And so, in envisioning a world where people are free to decide how to care for their own bodies and empowered to have children, not have children, and parent the children that they have in safe and sustainable communities, then we want to think about reproductive justice. Those are the four basic tenets of reproductive justice. Because we have a problem here. Laws and policies that restrict abortion access devalue our human rights and harm our ability to sustain our families, communities, and our lives. They are unethical attempts to control our lives and dictate who among us can have, keep, and raise children. The reproductive justice framework analyzes how our ability to determine our own reproductive destiny is linked directly to the conditions of our community. And it's time for us to move beyond the individual to include the social support necessary for decisions to be optimized. We also must hold our governmental agencies and officials accountable to their obligations to provide the conditions for our choices to be safe, affordable, and accessible. So, reproductive justice focuses on the social forces that are outside of a person's individual control. It takes the blame and responsibility off the individual person and puts it squarely where it belongs, on society and its values. We do not live in a society in which every child born is loved and has the resources to grow and thrive. And people are deciding to have abortions within the context of their whole lives. And we need to start seeing it this way. We need to start talking about it this way and creating solutions that account for people's whole lives. And reproductive justice shows us the way. There are so many different intersections that we can look at. Like, there are so many different ways that people are pushed to the margins and oppressed within our society. And when we're looking at individual issues, then it's siloed, and it becomes a situation where we're blinded to all of the ways in which we all can work together to improve the conditions of our communities and our lives. And so some of the intersections with reproductive justice and someone's ability to have children or not are the intersections between expansion of abortion services as well as contraceptive services, as well as people's opportunities to actually continue pregnancy safely and nourish their bodies with good food and have transportation to make it to appointments so that they can keep themselves as healthy as possible during pregnancy, have support services like a doula to assist them in navigating some of the difficult parts of the healthcare system and potentially help them care for their children once they're born, providing postpartum support. The environment in which people are raising families in, do they have affordable housing? Are their communities safe? Do they have the ability to actually pay their bills, keep that roof over their head with the living wage? So as we start to kind of look through all the different moving pieces in a person's life that helps them decide whether it is time to either start a family or expand the family they already have, then we start to see that it's really just not a matter of whether or not someone has the quote unquote right to the privacy of the decision to have an abortion between themselves and their physician, which of course the government should not be involved in that. But the government does have a responsibility to create the conditions for us to make the appropriate decisions and access the care we need once we make those decisions so that we can not only survive but thrive. And so I want you to really think about how the tenets of reproductive justice uh, can work in your advocacy, your activism, your company, your corporation, whatever it is that you do, where there is the intersection between what's going on, your stakeholders, your employees, what you're doing, because half of the population has uteruses and can become pregnant. So this is not just a women's issue. This is not just an issue that is only related to reproductive rights. It is a human rights issue, and it's so very important for people to be able to determine if they want to continue pregnancies, birth, and parent, if they want to have an abortion, if they don't want to be pregnant at all or ever, having adequate access to the means to prevent pregnancy, and then having the means to parent with dignity. And so that is reproductive justice. And I hope that this quick discussion helps you with this framework to understand this a little bit better. Abortion should not be siloed. Abortion is part of a continuum of decisions that pregnant people can make. And stay tuned for my next live. If you found this information useful, please like, please share, and the video will be made available for view later here on my YouTube channel, Health Justice MD. You guys have a great rest of your day.